Today we're going to be working on slide number 2. In slide number 2, we're going to talk about the early life of the person that you've selected. So you need to talk about where the person was born, their birthplace. You need to talk about when the person was born. You also need to include things about their family and maybe their siblings. Did they have any brothers or sisters when they were growing up? Or what information can you find about their childhood? So I've already gotten to my slideshow and I've opened it up, okay? I need to add the next slide. To do that, I'm going to go to the upper left-hand corner where the plus sign is, and I'm going to click plus for a new slide. It gives me a slide just like this. The title of the slide is going to be Early Life. So I'm going to put Early Life here, and just like yesterday, we can adjust the size of this text box. We could make the text fancy if we wanted, add color. All that stuff can be done at the end, okay? So I'm going to slide this over here. Each one of these boxes is called a text box, okay? So I can move the text box around and I can adjust it. I'm going to adjust this text box. Another thing I can do to the text box is I can add a border so you can see it a little better. Not with the fill color, but right next to it is the border color with this icon that looks like a pencil. I'm going to click that and I'm just going to choose black for now. In this text box, I'm going to put information about this person's birth, okay? I'm going to center that and I'm going to highlight it so I can underline it and make it bold. That looks good to me, okay? Then I need another one of these text boxes, or I want another one of these text boxes. You get to decide the layout of your slide. So I'm going to click on the box. I'm going to double click it and I'm going to click copy. Then I'm going to click somewhere else and I'm going to double click it and I'm going to click paste. Then I have two of them. So I'm going to slide this one all the way over here. And since I already have birth in this one, I don't want another one that says birth. And this one I'm going to put family. Okay? So all the information that I gather about George Washington's birth, I'll put in this box, and all the information I gather about George Washington's family, I'll put in this box, okay? You can decide if you want the boxes on this side and on this side. Maybe you decide that you want your boxes to be a little bigger. So I'm gonna slide this box this way, and I'm gonna click on this box, and I'm gonna slide this box this way, okay? Get them to be whichever size you want, okay? In here, we're gonna type our information just like we would in a document, okay? So once I get my cursor in the right place, I'm gonna press enter just like I would if I was doing Google Docs, okay? I don't want this to the center, I want it to the left. So there's a couple ways you can do this. You can just type it like a paragraph. Type like a paragraph, okay? Or you can use bullets, okay? If I wanted to just make a list of all the things I know about his birth, I'm gonna come up here to where it says 1, 2, 3, and then right next to that, that's a numbered list. I don't want a numbered list. Right next to that is a bulleted list. I want that, so I'm gonna click that. And this is where I'm gonna type where he was born, his birthplace. Then if I click enter, it's going to give me another bullet, and this is going to be his birth date, okay? So I'm going to get rid of this part because I didn't want the type like a paragraph. You can decide how you want it. You could type it like a paragraph, or you can do a bulleted list like I'm doing, okay? But I don't know about George Washington's birthplace and birth date yet. So here is where I'm going to have to start doing some research. To begin my research, I'm going to go up here to the plus sign in Google and I'm going to open another tab. Okay, I'm going to just type in George Washington birth. Oh, there's his birthday. I need to know his birthplace first, right? That's what I said. So I'm going to find out, where was he born? Where was George Washington's birthplace? That's pretty simple. Virginia. Does it say where? Oh, Westmoreland County, Virginia. Now there's two ways that I can move this information, Westmoreland County, Virginia, over to my presentation. I highlighted it here, so what I can do is just, after it's highlighted, I could copy it and come over to my slide, and I can just paste it by right-clicking again and pasting. Okay, that's one way. If I didn't want to do that, I could just type it right in here. Westmoreland, Virginia. If I type it like this, I run a risk of making a mistake in how it's spelled or what it's supposed to look like. Westmoreland County. I didn't write that whole thing. So Westmoreland County, Virginia. I can type it in. I just have to make sure I go back here and check to make sure I spelled it right. So I just put VA. Let me fix that. Virginia. Okay. So that's one way. There's two ways. You can just copy and paste it from there, or you can just type it in. Okay. Then I need to go down and I need to find his birthplace. Okay, a birth date. So I don't want to find his George Washington birthplace anymore. Now I want to find George Washington birth date. So, oh look, there, it's right there. Birthday, February 22nd. I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna type it. February 22nd, 1732. 1732. It was a long time ago. So I'm gonna, once I get that, I can fix it however I want it. I want it to not be bold or underlined. Okay, so that's all the things I need for his birth. For his family, I might need different information. Okay, I'm in a family. I know there's a mom and dad, so I'm gonna choose to include a section about his parents, and I'm also going to choose a section about his siblings. Okay. So again, I don't know that information about George Washington off the top of my head. I have to go research it. So I'm going to go back to my Google, and instead of saying George Washington birthday, I'm going to click in here and find George Washington parents. Okay? Now, sometimes the information isn't just right up on top like this is, okay? Sometimes you're gonna have to click in the websites below and read to find out, is this about George Washington's parents? Does it have any information about his parents? This looks like it has information about his whole family. So it might tell me about, oh look, his siblings, his stepchildren and step-grandchildren. There might be a lot of information about George Washington here. So that's part of researching, is figuring out what pieces of information you need and which ones you don't. So his mother was Mary Ball Washington. So let me put that in for parents. Mary Ball Washington. And his father was Augustine Washington. So I'll put that down here. Oops. Augustine Washington. And just like before, you can choose to just copy and paste it, or you can type it in like I did. There's a picture of her here, so I think that would be interesting to include. So let's see if I can click on the picture of her. And I want to use this image in my presentation. So what I need to do is I need to right click, remember on a Chromebook that's a 2-finger click, and I'm going to save image as, or maybe let me see if I could copy image. Copy image, let's go over here, and let's see if it'll let me paste the image. Paste. Ah, it worked. All I had to do was click copy and paste. Super easy. Now I don't need it to be this big, so I'm going to make it a little smaller. And then I'm going to slide it over here. You you can choose to, all these things you get to decide. Do you want to include a picture of his parents? Maybe you're not able to find a picture of his parents, and that's okay too. So you can decide how you want this laid out. Do you want the boxes side to side? Do you want them on top of each other? All that stuff is creative ways for you to decide. So let's go back and let's find that picture of his dad. And I'm going to click on that. Let's click on this here. And the same way, I think that copy and paste was pretty easy. So let's do it the other way this time. Let's go to Save Image As. Once this opens, it's saving to my Google Docs, but I'm going to make sure I give it a name. I'm going to call it George Washington's Dad. And I'm going to save it. Okay. Now when I go back to my presentation, I have to insert an image, okay? So I'm going to go to Insert, Image, Upload from Computer, because I already downloaded it. I saved it to my computer. And I can go to Recent, and I can see George Washington's dad's right here, so I'll click that and hit Open. And then, just like I did with his mom's picture, I need to resize it. And you can make it however big or small you want it, depending on your presentation. Okay. And that works. I could put the picture closer to her name if I wanted. All that stuff you get to decide. Where do you want these pictures and where do you want this information? The last section is going to be about siblings, and you're going to do that section on your own. The same way we found his birthplace, his birth date, his parents, you're going to do the sibling section, okay? Once you're done with that, then you can go back and customize your slide. So that means you can change the title to make it fancy or colorful or whatever you want to include. You can do all that after that. That's the end of slide number 2. Hope you guys had fun.